was a story earlier this week. A small town in western Arizona called Quartzsite was in disarray because the town council ousted the mayor from power and declared a state of emergency. Now, what happened was that there was an online video showing a woman standing up to the town council. She had the floor. The mayor said, "You have the floor, go ahead and speak." Her name was Jennifer Jones. And she was speaking about the corruption going on in that city. They're trying to raise the taxes on the population, and they're taking the money for themselves. And the mayor is standing up against them. Jennifer Jones was also standing up and exposing what was happening. But the town council told the police to take this woman and dragged her out of the town hall. They were recording this on video, and it became a pretty big story in the alternative media. Suddenly, the town council had to declare the state of emergency because they were scared. Well, you know, they should be scared, because the only thing they're scared of, really, is being exposed for the criminals that they are. And this is not just happening in a small town in Arizona. This is happening, of course, in Washington right now. You're seeing these so-called raising the debt limit talks going on between Obama and the Republicans. Now, it was reported yesterday that Obama got up and stormed out of a meeting because he was upset the Republicans weren't willing to compromise with him. Now, of course, Obama just wants to keep the hoax going as long as he can. He wants it to appear as though things aren't as bad as they actually are. But, of course, that's unraveling. And the Republicans are just as guilty. When Bush was in there, they raised the debt limit many times, and they didn't even put up a fight. It's interesting to see that oftentimes there's more resistance to the globalist agenda when there's a Democrat president, because they don't have the phony veneer of having a so-called conservative in power. This same thing would be going on no matter who was in power, unless it was a real constitutionalist like Ron Paul, but that's not very likely to happen. Those are two examples, on a national scale and on a small scale, like in that small town in Arizona. You have rampant, out-of-control corruption on all levels of government. And the Quartzsite thing is just a microcosm of the macrocosm that we have going on in America. Now, what do we do about this? Well, when people see just how malicious these people are, they get resistance. They were getting supposedly threats. You can't steal people's money and stuff it in your pocket and then trying to raise the taxes saying, "We're broke. We don't have any more money." Yeah, well, you got plenty of money. You got enough money to stuff in your pockets. If enough people rose up in Quartzsite, if they had national help perhaps, maybe that's what they need, they could force this town council out. They could force these corrupt police out. Anybody who stands, like Ron Paul or Mayor Foster, stands up to these kinds of corrupt policies, are going to be ridiculed, are going to be vilified. They say, "Oh, they're making death threats, they're threatening us." Anytime someone exposes them, they consider it a threat. Well, it is a threat. America is now on the brink of economic Armageddon. And now they're saying if this deal doesn't happen, they're going to cut Social Security. They're going to cut Medicaid. They're going to cut food stamps. Now, can you imagine what would happen in America if the people didn't get their food stamps, if the people didn't get their Social Security checks every month? Then you'd see riots. Then you'd see major unrest and upheaval. You'd see people breaking into stores, stealing things, because the people don't have any morals anymore. Back in the Depression, people had a sense of right and wrong, basically Christian values. That isn't true in America anymore. And the people have a sense of entitlement. They believe they are entitled to have food stamps. They're entitled to have that check come in every month from the government. They have been made weak and dependent on that handout. And if that stops coming in, then you're going to see the real character of the American people. Let's see what the American people can do on their own without Big Brother helping them out. Now, I know corporate welfare is going on left and right. They make these deals with the government, they pay them off, and they get these huge contracts. And the small businesses never see that. And the people getting these so-called entitlements, they're the ones just getting a few scraps from the table. And they will be the ones that are cut off first. No, they won't stop the unnecessary wars in the Middle East. They won't stop paying off the bankers, but they will cut the Social Security checks. They will cut the food stamps. But if they do that, then they're in danger of true upheaval. And that's when they call out the troops. The game is over. When the jobs go away, when the government subsidies stop coming in, then you're going to see the real character of the American people. N-Star Radio.